high ticket offer owner purgatory. Or in other words, being stuck taking sales calls as a high ticket offer owner and being unable to remove yourself from those sales calls and focus on other things. Maybe you've tried removing yourself from the sales calls, and as we're going to get into in this video, it didn't work. Or maybe you haven't even attempted to get yourself off the sales calls because you know it's not going to work right now, and therefore you are handcuffed, which is what purgatory means. You're in a state of suffering, Groundhog Day, where another year goes by and you do not scale your business, you do not earn more money, and emotionally, financially, even just purpose-wise, you feel like you are stuck. You are not able to get ahead. And so in this video, I'm going to walk you through how I've been able to help multiple high-ticket offer owners get off the phones, complete Operation Get Off the Phones in 2025, so that now we're in 2026. You know exactly what it's going to take if you want 2026 to be the year that you finally remove yourself from taking sales calls. So let's crack into the video. The first thing to understand is why this is so important. If you do not have a simple but clear understanding of why you need to focus on getting off the phones, then you probably won't put in the time or the effort or even financial investment to get yourself off the phones. So the reason you probably already know, but to absolve you from any ignorance, let me make it clear. If you're taking sales calls, you're not doing other activities. And taking sales calls, whilst it feels like it's the thing that puts money in your bank account right now, is not the thing that will ensure you put more money in your bank account over the coming months and over the next year. So yes, it pays the bills today, and it might even be giving you an all right lifestyle. But if you want a better lifestyle, if you want a bigger business, if you want to scale your service and help more people, whatever the meaning is for you, and it's probably a combination of all those things, which is awesome, you have to remove yourself from the sales calls. This is similar to what's detailed in a book called The E-Myth Revisited by Michael Gerber. And essentially what the book says is, are you working in your business or are you working on your business? This is the key mental shift that you have to get your head around, and you're probably already there, which is why you've clicked on this video. So if you continue to work in the business, you cannot work on the activities that are on the business, which allow you to scale the business. In other words, you will just be at the same level next month, the same level next quarter, and most probably the same level next year. And it's probably what happened for 2025 for you. You're at somewhere between $20,000 to $50,000 on the low end per month. That's probably cash collected. And on the high end, you were at somewhere between 100,000 and 200,000. So somewhere between those numbers, you've been stuck and you haven't really made any more money over the last 6 to 12 months. Or if you're someone that's super ahead, you've only just started your high ticket offer, but you already can foresee the future of shit. If I'm taking sales calls and I don't remove myself from the sales calls, I will still be at the same financial level and income level 4, 8, 12 months from now. Either of those, this is why you have to remove yourself from the sales calls. So what's stopping you from removing yourself from sales calls? In simple terms, you either have tried to remove yourself from the sales calls, you brought on a high ticket closer, and your income went down. And we'll get on to why that is here in a minute. So you've either tried it and you thought, okay, we're at $50,000 a month. I brought in a high ticket closer and what the fuck happened? We then went to $10,000 a month. Or at the higher end, if you're at $150,000 cash collected a month and you brought in 1 or 2 or 3 high ticket closers, most likely the business went from $150,000 a month down to like $100,000 a month. And you're thinking, shit, I should have just stayed on the phone calls myself. Obviously, you know that's not the long-term strategy, but in the short term, that's the situation that presented itself was, well, I could take the sales calls myself and be at $150,000, or I could stick with these high-ticket closers and make less money. You know what? I'll just go back on the phones. Or the alternative is, you know in advance that if you bring in a high-ticket closer or 2 or 3 or an outsourced sales agency, whatever it is, in other words, if you remove yourself from the sales calls, your income will go down. And so why the heck is that? The reason why is because if you are at $30,000 to $50,000 a month in cash collected, or even if you're all the way up at $100,000 to $150,000, even $200,000 a month pushing it, the quality of high ticket closer that is attractive for your business is very, very low level. You are not going to attract a unicorn closer. You are not going to attract an A+ plus level closer. And quite frankly, for a lot of business owners, even though you're not a sales master, because you have conviction, because it's your offer, you know your case studies, you know your testimonials, and you can either demonstrate those verbally, or you can just simply talk from a place where you know that what you do is going to serve this client, this prospect. You have conviction. On top of that, you know your offer inside out. So if anybody asks you technical questions, you can answer technical questions. And there's a few other things there that I won't get into. But for those reasons, you're actually better on the phones than the quality of high ticket closer that you're able to attract right now. Does that make sense? In a simple nutshell, you being on the phones versus the B or C or D or F level closer that you can attract, you are a better closer or able to close better than the closers that you attract. That is the root cause of business owner, high ticket offer owner purgatory. Until you can shift that, you're going to be stuck on the phones, because every time you try and take yourself off the phones, your business income dips. And that's not what you want to do. You want to actually get off the phones, sustain the level that you're at, and then start to scale. And so why is this? Well, it's in simple terms because the amount of money that your offer is able to show on a job description or an offer board or a network or a mastermind is just not of any interest to an A-level high-ticket closer, or what I would call a unicorn closer. Why is that? Just put yourself temporarily, probably something you've never done before because you're the business owner, you're the high-ticket offer owner, you've never really thought about this before. Put yourself in the shoes of the high-ticket closer. If you're a high-ticket closer that's any good, worth your weight at all, when a high-ticket closer sees that a business is at, let's say, 50K per month, somewhere up to, let's call it 200K per month, they're dividing that by 10, and that allows them to see what their on-track earnings are. Not the on-track earnings that you tell the high-ticket closer they're going to get to when you scale the offer and all of these other hypothetical things potentially happen. I understand that you as the business owner are absolutely sure that you are going to get more leads and you are going to get more world-class results and you are going to scale the business. But a good, high-level, high-ticket closer does not give a flying fuck about your hypothetical future. They're looking at, I only get paid to close deals right now. I'm not on a salary. I'm not on a base salary. I've got my lifestyles to sustain. I've got my maybe wife and kids, whatever it is for the high-ticket closer. They look at it point blank factually. If you're at 50K a month, their expected earnings, and I'll give a little caveat to this in a minute, is 5K. If you're at 200K a month, their expected earnings is 20K per month. Now, you might be on the higher end here, or you might be imagining being on the higher end and think, well, 20K a month, like that's pretty good. Like I'm the business owner and I only make 200K a month. Sorry, but I have closers inside my mastermind that are cash collecting single-handedly for the business owner $1 million per month in cash collected, which is how much I was able to generate for a business owner, multiple of them actually, as a high-ticket closer. And so if they're pulling in for you $1 million a month in cash collected, or they have the potential to do that, and they're looking at your offer and thinking, I'm going to get paid 20K a month for that, it's not even a consideration for a split second. The high-ticket closers, like myself and students inside my mastermind, are pulling in $100,000 a month in commissions. And so when they look at your high-ticket offer here, and it says it's going to make them 20K a month, it's just absolutely not of interest. And 5K a month, God forbid, you considered that you're going to get a good closer. And this is the thing that high-ticket offer owners in purgatory get stuck on. Completely distorted ideologies of, I'm looking for a great closer. Well, you're looking for a great closer, but you're at 50K a month. You're going to get a 5K a month earning closer, which is literally a closer that has never done a single piece of training. And they just saw on a YouTube video, high ticket closing. I want to get into that. I'm going to make 5K a month. They haven't even done a course. And they're the type of closers that you're going to attract. Or even on the 200K a month, you're looking at closers that are thinking, I'll make 20K a month. That's a closer that's been through one program. They've been through one program. They were like, not even the best student in the program. They haven't done internal mastery training. They can only sell with a script. They're faking their tonality. They dress like shit. They don't have a decent background. They don't have a decent camera. They're definitely not wearing a nice watch. Whatever it is, you are going to attract nothing more than a B, C, D, E, and F level closer. And so what do you have to do? Listen, you as a business owner a high ticket offer owner stuck on the phones, have to do everything that you have available to you right now to max out your offer before you try and hire a closer. Because if you hire closers, maybe you've already been through this cycle of doom, you will just be at your current income, hire a closer and your income goes down, and then you go back on the phones again. And the same cycle is going to keep repeating itself for months, maybe even years. And I've seen this too many times with high ticket offer owners that join my mastermind and they say, shit, I've been running this same cycle for 18 months. And then they finally join my mastermind and we teach them the things that I'm going to share with you now in this video. They execute, they implement, and very quickly they're able to actually put their offer into a position where it's now attractive for a much higher level closer. And so we'll get into what those things are here in a minute. But in essence, what you're trying to do as a high ticket offer owner that's in purgatory is bring this number up to as high as it possibly can be whilst you're still on the phones, by the way. And so let's just look at some example numbers. If you're at 50K, and this is not a hard number, you might be able to bring your offer up to 150K a month. The caliber of closer that you will get that now is looking at that and thinking, I would be expecting myself to make 15K a month versus 5K. It's not a 3X in the quality of closer. It's a 5 to a 10X in the quality of closer. If you're at 200K a month and you're able to bring your offer up to 400K a month, thereabouts, the quality of closer that you're going to be able to attract, who's no longer looking at this and thinking, okay, I'm going to be earning 20K a month. They're now looking at this and thinking, I'm going to be able to make $40,000 a month, is a 50X in the quality of closer, completely different. And so going back to your, let's call it pain points, if you bring in the wrong closer, they're going to be needing babysitting. They're going to say stupid things on the phone. They're going to create bad Trustpilot reviews or wherever you get your business reviewed on. And it literally takes a few weeks or couple of months of having a terrible closer to destroy your business, potentially irreversibly. You get some dog shit closer on the phones for you, says some stupid things to prospects or brings in the wrong clients or whatever, and you get 4 or 5 bad reviews on your business and you may have to shut down your business forever. You'll have to start the whole brand all over again. I don't want you to have to suffer that, but I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen multiple times in my 5 years now in the high ticket sales industry. And so what you need to do is bring up your business to the highest possible level that you can before you go trying to put out job posts on job boards or hiring someone else to find you high ticket closers. Don't spend money doing that. Spend money on building your business to the highest level that you possibly can whilst you're on the phones. And then the good high ticket closers will be interested immediately in what you're bringing to the marketplace, what you have to offer, which is an opportunity for them to make the money that they truly want to be earning. I'm going to pause there. Does this make sense so far? Why you are stuck? Why you're in business owner purgatory? If it doesn't make sense, you should probably just go back and rewatch this video thus far. If it does make sense, let's now get into how you fix this. You need to get your business to the highest level that you can possibly get it, and then you're just able to attract A-player closers, or maybe not AAA if you're not at the 400K a month and you're down here at the 150, but instead of hiring a D-level closer, you'll hire a B or maybe an A- level closer, if we use grading terms here. So what do you need to do? What are the few steps that are going to take you from your current level of cash collected to the highest level that you possibly can? Well, you're on the phones right now. And so you have to look at what your options are. So if I move this over here and we start on a clean slate, what are your options that are going to increase the cash collected? You really have 3 options. Option 1, in fact, they're not options. They're 3 different things that you can implement, and you should be implementing all 3 of them. Okay, so option 1, option 2, and option 3. Now, before I go deeper, just to be clear, this has nothing to do with marketing. I do not teach marketing. This has nothing to do with getting better leads. This has nothing to do with building your personal brand. These are the sales mechanics that you can implement to build your cash collected number on your high ticket offer to the highest level that it can possibly be. Okay. The first one is you need to do some basic, not highest level, not, the same level that I teach high ticket closers. You need to do some basic internal mastery work. When you are taking phone calls, you are going to be inconsistent across your sales calls because you're wearing so many hats. You're thinking about leads, you're thinking about marketing, you're thinking about the fulfillment team, thinking about all the other things. Maybe you've got a wife and kids yourself or a husband and kids yourself. You need to do a basic level of internal mastery work so that instead of you losing deals simply because you aren't level-headed, you're going to start closing those deals. That will add 10, 15, 20% additional deals closed onto your offer. And so if we take the lowest end here, that could be the difference from your offer being at 50K and taking it up to 75K or maybe even 100K a month. That's immediately, you've just done some inner work. That'll be things like dialing in your health, dialing in your emotional control on calls, dialing in your habits, dialing in your beliefs, dialing in your environment, and a few other things there. You do that training and you can take your business up an extra $25,000 to $50,000 a month. Even if, by the way, you're at the 150K, that could be the difference between you getting it from 150K to 200 or even 250. Okay, so doing some basic level internal mastery work. I learned this as a high ticket closer. I've developed it even further when I trained Alex Hormozi's old gym launch sales team, took them to the highest close rates they've had in over a year. And I now teach this to other high ticket offer owners that are in business owner purgatory. Let's get into the second thing that you need to do. You need to learn the basics of scriptless selling. Right now, you're probably following a script or a framework, or you're just winging it based on conviction, based on the fact that you're the business owner and you can say certain things, you can swing in certain ways. If you actually develop some basic sales skills to the next level, you will close more deals. If you learn to sell without your scripted questions and have a deeper, more real, more authentic conversation, you will close more deals. So let's now look at the next jump that will take you from. Let's say you got to 100K, and this is for the 50K starting person, by the way. You've now gone up from 100K to 150K. Maybe 175K. Okay, so you're jumping up. Final one that you need to learn is to write and implement $1 million pitch. And this is going to do a couple of different things. When you have $1 million pitch, the ability for you to communicate your offer clearly skyrockets. When you communicate more clearly, you will have more sales and you will also be able to charge a higher price because the clarity of your offer actually makes it seem perceived as more valuable. The second thing, when you write $1 million pitch, which is literally word for word writing out how you're going to pitch the offer, which is something that we teach high ticket offer owners exactly how to do. My underground mentor, who's built multiple businesses to $1 million months and beyond, he writes it with you. He co-authors it with you. So it's a done with you service. The second thing it allows you to do is increase your prices, which I said before, there's two mechanisms of how it lets you increase your prices, because the way that you're communicating the value in your offer is completely different to you just having a few bullet points and saying, we do this, we do this, we do this, you get some coaching, you get some live calls, you get a training course, we do the service like this, we do it all for you. The deliverables do not dictate the perceived value. It is the emotional and result-based journey that you can walk your prospect through that determines how valuable they see your offer as. So this $1 million pitch allows you to do two things. Number one is, in fact, it allows you to do three things that I'll get onto here in a minute. It allows you to be more clear. It allows you to communicate more value. And then the third one, it allows you to hand this $1 million pitch over to a closer. You may have already experienced this as a high ticket offer owner. You bring in a closer, and when it comes to the pitch, they pitch it in a terrible way that doesn't seem valuable, seems very confusing, hard to understand, and they're losing deals not just because they're terrible closers in the discovery, but they're also terrible at delivering the pitch of your offer. In other words, what you're offering in a clear, concise, and valuable sounding way. And so they lose deals. So this is like the third step here. That's a later stage. But right now, you need to deliver your offer more clearly. You need to deliver your offer in a way that's seen as more valuable. And this will allow you to increase your personal close rate, and it will allow you to increase your prices. When you increase your prices, the same amount of leads that you're paying for or getting from organic content have a much higher value. And when you increase your close rate, you close more of the leads. And so now with this third and final one, let's say you've gone from 150K and you've gone all the way up to 250K. Closing more of the leads and closing those leads at a higher price point. When we've written $1 million pitches for offers, we've been able to take price points from $3,500 for 12 months of service, whatever it is, could be a fitness coach, for example, to $3,500 for 6 months. So they're now doing half the delivery for the same exact price. And then once you've tested that and it's working and you're still doing your internal mastery training, you're doing your scriptless selling training as well, they're then able to take this from $3,500 to $5,000 again for 6 months. And sometimes we even drop that down to 3 or 4 months. And then eventually you can take this up to basically double the original price. And let's call it 4 months of service. So you've gone from $3,500 for a 12-month service to $7,500 for a 4-month service. And I know you're probably listening to that and thinking, no fucking way. Cool. Keep having that belief. You're welcome to allow that self-sabotaging, limiting belief to keep you on the phones earning the same amount of money that you've always been earning. Or you can just listen to me. You've probably seen results that I've posted on my YouTube channel. There's a community wall where I post results of high ticket offer owners doing this, or you can just watch any of my other YouTube videos and realize I was making a business owner $1 million a month in cash collected as a high ticket closer. And I was doing that because I was able to sell at a higher price point, have the highest close rate, be consistent as a high ticket closer. And those things then allowed me to go on and train Hormozi's old gym launch sales team and implement internal mastery, scriptless selling. They actually already had $1 million pitch, so I didn't write that personally. And that allowed them to get to their highest close rates in over a year and make way more than $1 million a month as a high ticket offer in cash collected. So you choose the beliefs that you want to choose. I'm just sharing all of this in this video so that if you choose, you can get out of business owner purgatory. You can get off the phones. You can work on your business, not in the business. You don't have to have a headache of taking sales calls and trying to work on other stuff as well. So emotional bandwidth will be freeing. You'll be more stress-free. You can then have an A player or an A plus player high ticket closer taking the sales calls for you. And actually, because they're dedicated to be a high ticket closer, if they're truly wanting to be unicorns, like the ones that are in my Unicorn Closer Mastermind, then you could actually be making significantly more, not just because you're not now able to focus on other parts of the business, but because they're actually way better than you at closing because they've dedicated themselves to mastering high ticket sales. That's a good segue that brings me on to the point that I alluded to there, which is if you joined my Unicorn Closer Mastermind and you built your business to a level, let's say this $250,000 now, where it's attractive for a much higher level closer, we then have those closers. So not guaranteeing it, not promising anything, because you might be an asshole. I don't know. You might have a shit offer and it's just something that the closers aren't interested in. But let's assume those two things aren't the case and you're a nice guy or you're a nice gal and you've got a genuinely authentic world-class offer that's delivering a great service to the world. We have multiple high-ticket closers that want to get on a better offer. And this is the switch, is they're probably on one of the medium level offers that is like your offer right now, making $5,000 a month in commissions when they first joined my mastermind. Take 3 months for that high ticket closer to skill themselves up, do the internal mastery training, do the scriptless selling training, learn how to deliver $1 million pitch. And at the same time, you're doing those things on your offer, learning internal mastery yourself so you can be more consistent, close more deals, learn a bit of scriptless selling so you can close more deals, have a higher close rate, and implement and write $1 million pitch and bang. At the same time, whether it's 3 months from now, 6 months from now, somewhere hopefully around that, if you're a quick action taker and you're not someone that, procrastinates and take ages to implement things or make decisions, you've now got a high ticket closer that's at a much higher level, ready to join your high ticket offer that's able to show they're able to make $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 a month in commissions. And bingo, you are now out of high ticket offer owner purgatory. You're making way more money, having more fun as a high ticket offer owner because you're actually now being a business owner, not being an operator working in your business. You're able to deliver more world-class results to your clients, which is hopefully part of the reason you got into business, is to deliver a genuine service that helps people. And as they say, Bob's your uncle. All of a sudden, you've built what you wanted to as a high ticket offer owner. You're able to pay yourself more money or reinvest that money back into the business, and you're able to just scale and go to the next level. So this is the plan. It's up to you if you want to implement it. The reason, to give a recap here, that you're not able to get off the phones or you've tried it already and it didn't work is because the current level of cash collected that you're at will go down because the quality of high ticket closer that you can replace yourself with is a low level closer. The solution to that is you have to make your offer more attractive to be able to attract a much higher level closer. That you need to put some work in as a high ticket offer owner to take your business from whatever the number is here that is not attractive. Could be 50K, could be 200K, and get it up to a number that is attractive for a much higher level closer. That then allows the closer to see that they could make more. That one would be wrong. That they can make more money. They've gone from potential 5K a month earnings to 20K a month earnings, or even 40K a month earnings. And then to do that, you have to do some internal mastery work, not only so you close more deals and show your offer as more attractive to a high level closer, but also do you want to keep spending money on paying for your leads or building an organic brand and losing a large portion of those leads simply because you are not mentally focused, present, and able to access your highest level faculties as an offer owner when you take your sales calls because you haven't done the deep internal mastery work or even the basics of the deep inner work in relative terms to how to close more deals. Then on top of that, You learn the foundations of scriptless selling, which, by the way, I didn't get into this. A high-level unicorn closer is never going to come on your offer to be told to read your sales script. They do not want to do that. They have invested money to learn how to have an authentic conversation, to be an authentic person, to have a deeper conversation by actually knowing how to read human beings and learn what to say based on the conversation, not based on a set of pre-planned questions. So if you're selling with a script and you're trying to attract a high-level closer and you say, yeah, I've got my sales script ready, sorry, but they're not going to be interested. They want to know that they can sell without a script. That's the high-level unicorn closers. So you learn the basics. That allows you to close more deals. And then finally, you get taught how to write a $1 million pitch. You will close more deals because it's clearer and demonstrates more value. You'll be able to have a higher price point on it because it's clearer on your offer because it's clearer and it demonstrates more value. And you'll be able to just hand that $1 million pitch to your new unicorn closer that's helping you get yourself off of the phones. And you hand them that $1 million pitch and you know you have the trust, the reliability, the peace of mind. They're not going to fuck up how to pitch your valuable offer. And all of a sudden, you do these three things and you've got yourself off the phones, you've installed a unicorn closer or 2 or 3. You can even get most of those from my mastermind if you're on the inside of my mastermind. And then what? Now you can actually scale your business. You can focus on ads. You can focus on your personal brand. You can focus on building more products or another line of service to your business. And so research and development and product building. You can focus on fulfillment. You can focus on scaling your team and hiring and firing the people that shouldn't have been in the business and hiring better people that should be helping you in your business because now you've got time to focus on that. Or you know what? Maybe you can just go on a holiday. Maybe now you're making more money. You can go to, St. Kitts or wherever you want to hang out with the ballers. You can go to buy the car that you wanted to buy. You can maybe start flying nicer business class, first class, private jets, whatever it is that you got into business for. This is how you do it. Staying in business owner purgatory is the guaranteed way to never live the life of your dreams as a high ticket offer owner. And the solution, you have to do the work to make your offer more attractive, to attract a higher level closer. If you want me to hand you on a silver platter, the internal mastery training, the scriptless selling training, and also the $1 million pitch training, which would be delivered by my mentor, join my mastermind or figure it out on your own the slow way. It's like Charlie Munger said, you absolutely have to learn from mistakes, but nobody says they have to be your own. Well, there's another guy, Keith Cunningham, that wrote a book called The Road Less Stupid. And he simply decides to make more money by not doing stupid decisions. In my opinion, maybe yours, maybe not, it would be a pretty stupid decision to not be a seasoned high-ticket closer that spent years or decades between my mentor and I that decides, you know what, I'm going to try and learn how to get better at sales myself. That would be asinine. That would be ridiculous. But if you want to do that, you're more than welcome to do that. It would also be very ridiculous to say, you know what, I'll just kick the can down the road on this. Because aside from the stress of you not being able to hire another closer, what is it costing you to not be able to work on your business? If your business, let's take a round number, is currently at $100,000 a month, what is it costing you to not implement and execute today the things that I've walked you through in this video? Let's make some simple maths here. $100,000 is where you're stuck at. Let's imagine that's where you're currently stuck at. And if you implement the things that I've just told you, phase 1 is you being able to earn more money because you personally are bringing in more money as a high ticket offer owner. And let's say that takes you up to 200,000. And I'm making these numbers smaller than they could actually be. You've now made an extra 1.2 million a year. 1.2 million extra per year by you actually getting better at sales and writing $1 million pitch. So if you kick the can down the road, every 30 days you kick the can down the road, it costs you $100,000 in lost opportunity, cost, money that you're leaving on the table. Phase 2 is where you now remove yourself because your business is now at 200,000 and you can get a 5 times better closer when they can see their earning potential is 20K a month instead of 10K a month. You remove yourself and now you work on other parts of the business and you're able to scale like I've done for my higher level clients, which if you're watching this, you're probably not a fit for. When a business is at somewhere above $300,000 or $350,000 a month in cash collected, not revenue, cash collected, I then have a higher level service where I work one-on-one with a business's sales team, which you don't have right now, or you have shit closers that you wish you'd just stayed on the phone yourself. And I scale their offer from $300,000 or $300,000 to $400,000 a month in commissions $300,000 to $400,000 a month in cash collected to over $1 million a month in cash collected. And I've actually been able to do that in 8 to 16 weeks, sometimes 8 weeks, very, very quickly when I come in personally and work with the sales team. Okay. So not saying you're going to get there straight away, but let's say phase 2, when you bring in another 2 good closers, good ones, you're able to take your business from $200,000 a month to $350,000 a month. So it looks like $350,000 per month. And so that is an extra on top, 150, 1.5, 1.8. That's an extra $1.8 million per year, which now combined between phase 1 and phase 2 of you completing Operation Get Off the Phones and getting out of business owner purgatory, you've made an extra $3 million fucking dollars a year. Now, I don't know about you, but I'd quite like an extra $3 million in my pocket per year. Could get a Bugatti if I wanted a Bugatti. Personally, wouldn't buy that. Whatever it is you want. You know, if you've got a family, if you've got kids, what would $3 million extra a year do for you? Think about it and decide how much longer you're going to flush down the toilet $3 million extra a year. That is an extra, $250,000 a month. Every 30 days that you procrastinate on taking action, on you getting better at sales, building and writing $1 million pitch, and then being able to attract a higher level closer so you can get off the phones and work on the things that would then happen in phase 2 when you're now working on the business. So let's look at action items. Action items in phase 2 is you actually working on the business, your marketing, your personal brand, your fulfillment, and building and managing and scaling your team. Those are probably the main things, operational stuff. You're not there yet, so let's not focus on that. Phase 1, where you are right now, is you need to learn internal mastery because you're taking the phone calls and that's critical. So you're more consistent. You need to learn the basics of scriptless selling, just the foundations, the 4 core pillars that I teach to structure a sales call so you can actually have more flexibility on the call, how to actually ask deeper questions, how to understand the basic human being avatars that you get on your calls, the basics. Okay. And then finally, you need to write $1 million pitch. Those are the 3 action items that you need to take. The question is, how much longer are you going to delay to take the actions that will put in your pocket somewhere in the region of an additional $3 million over the next 12 to 24 months? How much longer are you going to procrastinate? If the answer is not another day, send me a direct message on Instagram and tell me that you're ready to go and say, I'm a offer owner in business owner purgatory. Just send that in a brief message. I'll look at it and I'll send you over the details to get started. That is it. How much longer do you want to flush down the toilet an extra $3 million a year somewhere over the next couple years? It's up to you. Personally, I wouldn't be procrastinating another day because money loves speed. That's all I have for you today. Maybe I'll see you on the inside of my mastermind. If not, I'll see you in the next video.